It's been over 2 decades since Lost in Translation first captivated audiences. Yet one question still lingers. What really happened between Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray behind the scenes? The quiet tension, the chemistry, the whispered goodbyes. Fans have spent years dissecting every frame, every glance, every pause. And now, at last, Scarlett Johansson is breaking her silence. Her revelation not only pulls back the curtain on one of Hollywood's most talked-about on-screen pairings, but also exposes a truth that no one saw coming. When Lost in Translation premiered in 2003, few expected it to become one of the defining films of the century. Directed by Sofia Coppola, the story followed a fading movie star and a lonely young woman who form a deep, mysterious connection in Tokyo. Bill Murray and a then 18-year-old Scarlett Johansson brought raw vulnerability to their roles, but their connection felt too real, too natural. Audiences sensed something unspoken between them, something that seemed to go beyond the script. The chemistry was undeniable, leading to speculation that their bond off-screen mirrored their on-screen intimacy. According to Johansson, the filming process was unlike anything she'd ever experienced. In a recent interview, she described Tokyo as both beautiful and isolating, a place that mirrored her character's emotions perfectly. She revealed that Bill Murray was often quiet and introspective between takes, sometimes improvising lines that weren't in the script, moments that made their interactions feel painfully real. Bill was unpredictable, she said. He could be deeply serious one minute and hilariously childlike the next. It made every scene feel alive, almost too real. But while their connection on screen seemed natural, Johansson hinted that it wasn't always easy behind the scenes. At the time of filming, Scarlett Johansson was barely 18 years old, while Bill Murray was in his early 50s. The age gap raised eyebrows, especially given the film's subtle romantic undertones. Many critics wondered whether the quiet intimacy between the two bordered on discomfort. Johansson has since admitted that she often felt confused by the emotional depth of their scenes, unsure whether she was responding as her character or as herself. There was a vulnerability there, she said. It was both comforting and unsettling. Still, she insists that Murray treated her with great respect, describing their relationship as complex, creative, and deeply professional. One of the most talked-about scenes in Lost in Translation is the final goodbye, when Murray whispers something inaudible into Johansson's ear. For years, fans have debated what he said. Was it love? Was it goodbye? Was it real? Johansson finally addressed the mystery, saying, "That moment was never fully scripted. Sophia gave us the freedom to make it our own. What Bill whispered, I'll never tell, but it was something personal, something just for us." Her words reignited fascination with the scene, suggesting that even after all these years, some truths are meant to remain between two people who shared something fleeting yet profound. After the film's release, both actors went their separate ways. Lost in Translation became a cultural phenomenon, earning Johansson her breakout moment and solidifying Murray's status as an icon of quiet introspection. Yet the two rarely spoke publicly about each other again. Rumors began swirling that there was tension between them, that creative differences or emotional boundaries may have been crossed. Johansson recently admitted that the experience left her emotionally drained, saying, "It's hard to walk away from something that feels so personal. That film captured a moment in time, one that I couldn't recreate even if I tried." Sofia Coppola, who wrote and directed the film, has also spoken about the emotional energy between her stars. In an interview marking the film's 20th anniversary, she said, "What made Lost in Translation work was the honesty between Bill and Scarlett. They didn't pretend, they lived those emotions. But Coppola also admitted that the set could feel lonely and intimate, a strange combination that sometimes blurred lines between acting and reality. She hinted that both actors carried emotional weight into their performances, Bill's quiet melancholy, Scarlett's youthful uncertainty, and that those feelings weren't entirely fictional. For nearly 20 years, both Johansson and Murray avoided discussing their time together. In that silence, speculation grew louder. Some claimed Murray had been distant after filming ended, while others said Scarlett felt overshadowed by his veteran presence. Johansson dismissed those rumors, explaining that Bill was kind, but he was in a very different stage of life. We connected deeply in that moment, but it wasn't something that could last beyond it. Still, fans couldn't help but feel that their emotional bond had changed them both, and that the silence between them spoke louder than words. Over the years, there were whispers of a possible reunion project. Fans dreamed of a sequel, or at least a chance for the two to share the screen again, but Johansson revealed that it was never seriously discussed. "We both moved on," she said. "I have nothing but love for Bill, but Lost in Translation exists perfectly as it is. It captured something that can't be repeated." Her words carried a tone of finality, not bitterness, but acceptance. Still, she admitted that every time she watches the film, it feels like looking into a memory you can't quite touch. While Murray has remained mostly private about his relationship with Johansson, he once gave a rare glimpse into his feelings during a 2015 interview. "Scarlett was wise beyond her years. We didn't need to talk much. It was all there, in the silences." He described the film as one of the most meaningful experiences of his career. But when asked what he whispered in the final scene, he simply smiled and said, "That's between her and me." That simple response seemed to echo Johansson's own words, proof that whatever passed between them, it was something both still held sacred. 2 decades later, Lost in Translation remains a cinematic masterpiece, a story about loneliness, connection, and the quiet pain of growing apart. For Johansson, the film marked a turning point in her life. She has said that the experience shaped her understanding of acting, love, and vulnerability. "It taught me that the most powerful moments are often the quiet ones," she reflected. Murray, too, has often been defined by that film, the quiet man lost in the noise of fame. Their performances continued to resonate because they were so authentic. When asked recently what she truly felt about Bill Murray after all these years, Johansson paused for a long moment before answering. "I'll always be grateful for him," she said softly. "We shared something rare, something honest. It wasn't about romance or fame or movies. It was about being seen in a place where you felt invisible." Her words struck a chord with fans around the world. In the end, what happened between Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray wasn't scandalous or secret. It was deeply human. Two people, at different stages in life, finding comfort in each other's presence and then letting go.